I am Joseph Ouma Oindo from Tangaza University College, Nairobi, Kenya. And I will give a synopsis of the conceptualization of the family and active citizenship in Kenya. The Kenyan community identifies the family as the primary institution of socialization. As a primary institution of socialization, the family is responsible for the cultivation of values, morals, and work ethic in the community. With regard to active citizenship is anchored on the African communitarian ethics. The African communitarian ethics stipulates that each and every member of the community ought to actively contribute to the welfare of the community. Within this perspective, there has been a formation of family conferencing in Kenya. These are groups that allows families to express themselves in terms of opportunities, challenges, and the general welfare of family life in Kenya. Through these family conferencing movements, they also identify areas of pro-social participation. Moreover, the corporate sector, that is the banking sector, the telecommunication sector, the non-governmental organizations, the civil society movements, have also invested in key areas that directly affect the family. These areas include education, health, environmental protection, water and sanitation, and the general economic empowerment. The Christian Church in Africa, and in Kenya in particular, has also come up with initiatives geared towards strengthening family life. Among them are family units or movements, such as the CWA, that is the Catholic Women Association, the Catholic Men Association. The Anglican Church has also identified and formed family movements. It is within these family movements that they are able to identify areas through which they can actively contribute to the welfare of the society. The Constitution of Kenya also identifies the family as a fundamental unit responsible for the creation of active citizens and national consciousness in Kenya. However, despite the fact that these gains, these positive movements have been instituted in the country, there are still inherent challenges facing family life in Kenya. And these challenges hinder the family from carrying out its role of the creation of active citizens. The first challenge is the African political discourse. The African political discourse is yet to accord the family an active chance and role in the public sphere. This kind of political model does not allow family to influence policies and national discourse. The second challenge is illiteracy. That despite the fact that the government of Kenya has invested heavily in free basic education for all, this basic education is still inaccessible to the greater population of the Kenyans. The third challenge is the gradual weakening of the indigenous African cultural heritage. With swift civilization, modernization, and technological development, the African cultural heritage has been depicted as a discourse of the past. As a result, it is relegated to history, museums. Because of this, the values that are constitutive of the African indigenous cultural heritage are not transmitted to the current and future generation. The fourth challenge is lack of a viable research mechanism on family life in Kenya. That research has not been done and is not being done in Kenya. This lack of a viable research mechanism leaves a gap of knowledge on exactly what goes on in the family in Kenya. As a result, we recommend that there would be a formation of a viable family movement in Kenya through the churches, Christian churches. It is recommended now that these churches form a viable family movement in Kenya. The second recommendation would be that the educational system in Kenya better integrate the African cultural heritage and the current educational curriculum. In this sense, that integration will allow those African family values to be transmitted to the current generation through an formal educational system. The third recommendation is that there should be an enhanced political discourse with family priorities in Kenya. And the last recommendation is that field-based researches targeting families, identifying the challenges of the families, identifying the areas of opportunities for families, and identifying areas of limitations for families would actively contribute to the knowledge about how the family life in Kenya can actively contribute to the creation of active citizens and national consciousness in Kenya. And I thank you all for this.